We are live with the final thoughts while the Creator Classic is going down. While 24 hours? No, sorry, not 24 hours. 12 hours before we tee it off at East Lake. So I just wanted to get on here, talk about the betting card, talk about some interviews, talk about some DFS plays. Let me try to find this link and get it out on YouTube. I mean, on Twitter. So, get some people in here talking some G right now at Golf Gambling Pod. All right, Golf Gambling Pod. And we're live. Okay, we're tweeted. So if anyone wants to join in. But yeah, so I wanted to get on here, talk about some interviews, final thoughts, the normal Wednesday night deal. Let's talk about some interviews first. I thought Victor Hovland's interview was striking Monday afternoon early or Tuesday afternoon early. Literally, he was like, I am shocked as to how different this golf course looks. And that's going to be a trend as I go forward with the rest of the interviews. But Victor is very honest and upfront in all of his interviews. And he was like, yeah, it's almost like I could describe East Lake to someone if I've who's never seen it before, but now it'd be a completely different golf course to try and explain. So he mentioned that it's going to be taking a lot of getting used to, a lot of just new feels, trying to forget old thoughts, which is good for other guys, bad for other guys. And I think it's really good for a guy like Scotty Scheffler, who also said this golf course looks so different. And he said, I really think this suits me. So if that tells you anything about Scotty Scheffler and how he feels going into this golf tournament, he thought that he's played well at East Lake before, but didn't really get breaks that went his way. But he feels like this version suits his game much, much better. And that leads into Xander Schauffele, a guy who said if he could have been first to get in front of the bulldozer to stop the renovations, he would have. He feels very strongly about not having these changes, and he feels very strongly about how well he played at the old East Lake, and he feels very strongly about this golf course being so different than it has been in the last few years. He also said he's played all right on new golf courses this year, but I think you could somewhat throw away Xander Schauffele's course history here. Obviously, he's starting at 8 under. He's going to be right in the mix, but we got Scotty with the two-shot lead at plus money. I think I'm going to make that an official bet not too far after this show. I think we're going to go Scotty plus 115 or whatever the number is. Throw a little sprinkle on that because Scotty says he loved this new design. I think firm and fast Bermuda, that's API. And Xander says he doesn't love it. So shout out Scotty. The final interview quote that I want to talk about is Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry said he's just really tired and really ready to chill with his family. So could be a potential fade. I might look for some Shane Lowry fades in either round one or either full tournament because Shane Lowry is far back. I don't really think he knows he can't win this thing. He's happy to be here. So I might look for a potential Shane Lowry matchup after I get off of this stream. But I think we're going to go with some Scotty Scheffler plus 100 to win this golf tournament. A little sprinkle sweat for the weekend. All right. Talking about some bets. I'm not going to go through every single bet I made, but I like Patrick Cantlay. I already talked about Patrick Cantlay on another show. So we'll talk about another one. I'll give you the nugget. Who do I want to give out right now? I made 4-hour bets. You know one of them. Patrick Cantlay 20-1. This is also shadow market, by the way. I will talk about Russell Henley 28-1. I love Russell Henley's ability to hit fairways, and then from there, he can just hit a ton of greens. He's not going to stuff anything because he's not going to be able to hit his long irons extremely high, but he can get extremely hot on Bermuda with the putter, just go out and shoot 6 under in one day and then be right in the mix for the shadow leaderboard. We're going to 28-1 on the guy who's been somewhat chalky the last 4 weeks of golf, and he's kind of been forgotten now. He's playing fine golf. He played all right last week at the BMW. He played fine he played all right in Memphis. But this is a really good spot to run out Russell Henley. He was playing really well in this event last year in terms of the shadow leaderboard. I mean, he made 8 on one hole and just derailed his tournament. But I do like Russell Henley at 28-1 as an outright play in the shadow leaderboard. So let's talk about some DFS plays at the top. You guys already know where I'm going. I like that Scotty. I like Scotty. Down here at the bottom of the 10K range, if you want to just ownership alone, Hideki is going to be a third of them, of Scotty and Xander, but you don't really know what you're getting with Hideki. I don't know. You can fit Scotty and Hideki in, and I think at ownership, like it might just work because Hideki might make birdies, and he's going to be so low owned. But I think fading Ludd is. I think it's okay to fade Ludd. I would much prefer Rory at 9-6. Like give me Rory at firm and fast Bermuda. I don't care about the price, and the ownership is very benign anyway. So I think Rory's a great play. And then bottom of the 9K range, Cantlay and Colin are real questions, but I definitely, if you listen to my other show earlier, I really like Patrick Cantlay. It's hard to trust Colin Morikawa on a golf course in which you're gonna have to make some putts, and his ball striking is not really doing it for me right now. Whereas Cantlay has gained strokes on approach in 6 straight events. So I definitely like Pat Ice. Gonna talk a little bit about the middle range. I think in the middle of this night, I don't love the top of this 8K range. I really don't at all. I think they're both too chalky or too expensive. Whereas Victor and Wyndham are great pivots in my opinion. Like Victor is still weary to people. People don't want to click Victor's name yet. And Wyndham is just like Wyndham, right? He's like boomer bust. But Wyndham led the field off the tee last week, sorry. And he played really, really well last week. And on a golf course where you can make it happen with the driver putter, I don't think it's exactly going to play driver putter this year. I think it's going to be more approach around the green or approach putter. But we know he's going to hit fairways. He hits the ball high. And more than anything, I love Wyndham in chasers mode. Wyndham, just go out there, make a ton of birdies. You're playing from behind. Go do that. So in that 8K range, I definitely like Wyndham Clark at the bottom for sure. So 6K range, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I'll talk about 7K range too. 6K range, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but because I have a show on that. But all the way at the bottom of the 6K range, I really, really like Chris Kirk at $6,200. You're getting a golfer who has gained both off the tee and on approach in 4 straight events. That is the first time this year that Chris Kirk has done that in 4 straight events. And I mean, this man won an elevated event in January. So you're getting Chris K at a great price on a golf course that should suit him well. He's got 1 start here, and it was a T4. And Chris Kirk on Bermuda, you just simply do not overthink that. So 7K range, I don't know why Adam Scott's $7,900. I just think it's a absurd price for Adam Scott, and ownership wise too. It's just because of last week, like maybe, but I do not think Adam Scott is a decent pick at all because he's too chalky, 1, and too expensive. I think there's going to be great ways to go around not picking Adam Scott, and the guys below him like Tony Finau and Tommy Fleetwood are going to be owned, but I really like their ceiling far better than Adam Scott. So you want the rest of the 6K plays, go definitely take a look at those. But before we get out of here, I want to talk to you quickly about Underdog Fantasy. I have 2 plays for you. The first one is going to be Tom Hoge less than 69.5 strokes. Tom Hoge played really, really good last week, led the field on approach, and he's coming to a course in which he finished T10 at the last time he was here. We know Tom Hoge's going to hit fairways. We know Tom Hoge's going to hit greens. 69.5 is a very benign line for Hoge, so I think he'll play well. Promo code GOLF SGPN to get that pick in, but we got to get a 1 more pick, and that's Chris Kirk, less than 70 strokes. Like I just said, you play Chris Kirk on Bermuda. You don't overthink it. He's played really well in first rounds of late too. So Chris Kirk, less than 70 strokes. Tom Hoge, less than 69.5 strokes. Promo code GOLF SGPN to get a nice deposit bonus over at Underdog. So that's the final thoughts, interview reactions, any questions, you know where to find me. I think we're going to go with Scotty plus 100 as a final bet. I'm going to look for a Shane Lowry matchup to fade. So any questions, you know where to find me. Appreciate the support. It's been a great season, another winning season. So hope you guys won with me and had a great season as well. Catch you guys Saturday afternoon Saturday night with the weekend 36 hole update. So peace out. Catch you then.